Hi everyone, welcome to this Friday conversation with Erica today. Um, Erica Maitzi, right? Is that how I pronounce your name?
Maisie,
Maisie,
like A, the English A.
the English A. Good, Erica Maisie. I didn't actually know that yet. Good, that's good to learn new things all the time. It's really nice to have this conversation with you, Erica. Erica is in our um, soul-based coaching certification program, Invoke Your Client's Magic. And in these conversations on Fridays, we share about the learning that comes up. And Erica, you've chosen a topic that I know is very dear to your heart, about how this work is bridging between the roots and wings. And before we dive into that, would you share with us about the roots and the wings, because they're such a big part of you?
Yeah, like the roots. I got reconnected with my roots this summer when I was going back to my country of origin, which is Kazakhstan, where I have not been for 30 years. So prior to that, I always felt in my life like very disconnected and like literally not having any roots. I never felt like I speak a language properly. Like I never belonged to any countries where I lived, and I lived already in a few countries. So just to summarize it quickly, I felt very disrooted up until the time of the summer where I've done a long travel with the Trans-Siberian Railway, going to Russia, Kazakhstan, and Mongolia. So I met up with my family, with the countryside there, with my most favorite tree, the cherry tree, where I was like climbing up and down in my childhood. And I was also embroidering on my journey and planting tree seeds. And it was this whole experience where it feels like my roots have been really growing, or I felt like connected to them again in my life.
Yeah, what difference does that make to you when you're connected to your roots again?
It gives me a great sense of being grounded and like a power in a positive sense. Like I feel now like my ancestors are always staying by my side. It's like being part of a forest, like a really strong forest where my roots are connected to this deep, big forest. So it feels wonderful and very enriching experience.
Yeah, and it's such a essential part of being human, isn't it? To be rooted in that way.
Mm-hmm.
And then there are the wings as well. What about the wings?
The wings for me, like I feel feel my wings, experience them. It's like being in touch with my soul's path. Like it gives me a great sense like of ease, like in a way, yeah, just to live out my potential, like being in sync with my soul. Yeah. It gives me yeah, it's like really it feels like having wings.
Yeah, yeah. And what kind of wings are they? When it feels like it's like having wings.
Um, it changes. Sometimes it's like really like a little elf with little wings, like flying around and jumping around. And sometimes it's like also like the upper part of the tree, like there's the trunk and how is it called, like
Ah,
the
yes,
leaves are
all
on.
the leaves, all the foliage.
Yeah, like the upper part of the
Yeah.
leaves, which are close to the sky and are really blossoming.
Mm.
Sometimes it also feels like that. It changes.
Hmm. And that's the wings. So you have the roots and the wings, and then you were talking about how the work of soul-based coaching is helping you bridge between the roots and the wings.
Oh, yes. That's why I love it so much, the social based coaching, because I finally found something which really makes me connect what I always just felt like very I couldn't touch it. I just felt it like in a metaphoric way, and that's where we get to social-based coaching. It's a metaphor, like about this roots or the wings or what it means to me, and it's the sense like of becoming really present. How this metaphor is working through me, like the embodiment of this, like for me, like the roots or the wings, and to this, to the questions and to the holding space, practicing a metaphor evolves, and I can like practically work with these images.
With your own images, you mean, as well? Do you say anything about that? About what kind of, what difference does it make for you to have the metaphor that has evolved for you and to work with that in the way that we do in soul-based coaching? What difference does that make for you?
It's in a way like it brings out like a very like a fluffy thing, like this imagery, which is like lives inside me, and it brings it really into the practice of. It's like having this metaphor, which like lives within me, and whenever I connect with this metaphor, it gives me like some answers, like to my soul's question. Sometimes it takes time. It doesn't immediately become apparent or as a metaphor, and that's what it means for me. It takes time to evolve, but it's like being in more depth in connection with my soul. And the soul speaks in this metaphor.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's like these, I love how you phrased it before, in the sense that how these metaphors live inside of you.
Mm-hmm.
They did that anyway, like they do in all of us, because that's like our primary programming language, I sometimes call it. So they live inside of us, and what we're doing with soul-based coaching is really invite them out, right? To really invite them to become part of our conscious awareness.
Mm-hmm.
When we do that, yes, then we can open up to these messages, and we can open up to the knowledge that we hold, that our soul holds for us. Can invite that to become part of our lives, right? I think that's what I'm hearing you say. Is that right?
Yes, totally. And it's like being the bridge, the questions and holding this space is like the bridge to connect to this metaphor, like which lies usually inside of us, so we cannot really grasp it properly. And to the question, it just comes to the surface and becomes something tangible to really work with.
Yeah. Love it. Yes, the holding space part, and then the questions, that's what makes it possible for these metaphors to come out, for us to give words to them, and then all of a sudden they have become something, and then yes, they become really tangible, right? They become something that you can actually touch, get your hands on, and it just explains so much about what it is that you're experiencing. And I love that your metaphor is saying that it's the bridge between your roots, your ancestors, your body, your being at home, your groundedness, and your soul being able to fly, to have that soul purpose unfold. That's just such a gorgeous bridge, and I love that you found this as such a natural extension of what makes sense to you, like your world, the way that you process, the way that you hold your wisdom as well.
True.
Yeah,
Really holding the wisdom, it's like being, the deep trunk or like the womb in between, like midwifing or like being the bridge between both worlds. Like,
yeah,
I don't know how to describe it better.
Yeah, and I love it. I think it goes so closely with what I think my fascination in life is about. It's about that thing about how we are all people in bodies. Like, we are with going through our days, with our practical, the things that we need to do, like brushing our teeth or getting the groceries or making dinner. And then we are also very much soul, experiencing all this, and how we can weave the two in meaningful ways, that are, in ways that are not about in Dutch we have a saying that says navel gazing. I'm not sure that translates into every language, but it's not, when we're working with soul, it's not about just kind of looking at yourself, going inwardly and kind of getting lost in that experience. This is very much about how we bring our soul knowing into the world, right? To have that, you have that soul purpose evolve and have you shine in what you're here to do. Love that.
Yes.
Thank you. Is there anything else you would like to add about the bridge before we are going to be wrapping up?
I think what is also very important is like the preparation for falling into this work. I find this very sacred, like about before being able to bridge, for example, the roots and the wings, or before becoming present with another person through the questions. It's very important to make this connection as well with ourselves, like to really come home with ourselves first, in order to be having the space to be really present with what wants to arise in this moment. I think that's very, very, very precious.
Yeah. Oh, thank you for mentioning it. I just feel myself relax when I listen to this part. 'Cause yes, it's so much of the essence of what we do, and it's so easy to forget when we're in normal everyday mode and we're going through our things. And just you mentioning it, I can feel myself tap into that. Oh yes, that's that sacred space, that connection, the way that we hold ourselves and the space for our clients. Yeah, such a gift. Thank you. Thank you. Is there maybe one thing that you'd like to leave people with that are watching?
I just wish that everybody would enjoy the magic
Yeah.
of social-based coaching.
Yeah.
To really get to know the depths of their soul, and yeah, it really touches me very deeply. I like to share it with everybody.
Beautiful. So maybe this is also a good way to say that everybody who would like to get in touch with you, that they do that through Facebook. They'd like to continue the conversation with you, that they can find you there. Does that sound like a good idea?
Yes, sure.
Yeah.
I like to connect with people.
Great.
More than welcome.
Well, thank you very, very much. Thank you for your time and your experiences, Erica. And thank you, everyone, for watching. And let us know all your questions. And look forward to seeing you again next week. All right. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.